We did it.
It is done.
We've done it. We have finished reading the Bloodsworn Trilogy.
I guess you should show them all.
When did we start it? I have that we started it on, or at least I started it on March 25th. Oh, so not bad.
About a month for
yeah, we did it in a month. All three books.
And
Shadow
I feel
of
like
the
they're
Gods, Hunger of the
chunky.
Gods, and Fury of Gods.
Yes.
Yeah, they're big books. They're all over 500. The second book was a bit longer. The first and third, I think, were more closer to 500.
I honestly feel like these books didn't feel that long, though. Like, when I was reading it, I feel like I was eating. I was consuming. The second book took me a while, but that was just from work stuff. But I feel like when I was reading, I was locked in. That's what it felt like anyway. Simply emerged.
Yeah, the second book, I could tell it was longer because of the time it was taking me to read it. I wasn't like, this is a long book. But it was taking me a long time. So it was like, it was like a physical recognition of the time passing, not so much like, oh, this is long, I'm bored, I want to finish it. Let's tell our loyal fans, almost 100 of them. We're at 99 right now. We have 99.
99! We're almost there, folks. Almost there. We just need one more of you.
Hit that button.
Smash that like button, comment, and subscribe.
Like your mama taught you, right?
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's tell them how we felt. Let's go through, we're going to do a trilogy review. So we're going to talk about the trilogy as a whole, all three books. We'll try and pull out some specific examples from them about why we feel the way we feel, but we're looking at the Bloodsworn Trilogy as a whole.
And also, quick side note, isn't Dakota cute? I had to point out that this was you instead of just like a random child. Like,
who's that child on your wall?
This is my child. He's just much older now.
I think those were middle school graduation pictures, like before finishing 8th grade.
I believe it. Well, folks, if you're looking for a fun gag gift for your friends, Shutterfly is $2 magnets. This is not an ad.
That was only $2.
But it kind of is. $2 is worth it. 100%. I'd like to say that was the only magnet that I got, but I got a couple more surprises ahead.
Oh, you just showed it. You showed it at the bottom.
A little teaser for you. So yeah, back to the book.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, let's jump into our favorite category. The one that we always talk about, the one that influences so many other categories, character development. All three books.
I loved all these characters. Even the one, if I had to pick a character, I'm giving a point for this, by the way, obviously.
Wait, quick pause. We're going to go into full spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear spoilers,
keep watching anyway because we want you here.
It's true.
But I don't know. Cover your ears. Anyway, so there's only one character I feel like I didn't like, and he didn't really develop, in my opinion. He was just like there for the sake of POV.
Was it Guthvar?
It was Guthvar. And I don't know why he kept describing him as like he always had to wipe his nose because it was covered in snot. I don't know why every chapter had that for him, but it did.
Yeah.
I liked his chapters. It kind of stayed the same. But all the other characters, all the other main characters, side characters, everyone got some love. Lots of love.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was the feeling. I get warm and fuzzy special feelings inside when character development is done successfully over a long period of time. So like,
yes,
I always liken it to like The Office or like How I Met Your Mother, like watching Dwight and Pam and Jim become who they are over like the course of the whole show. And then watching like the How I Met Your Mother crew just grow and change. I love watching extended character development. I love watching it come to fruition. So like Orca, Varg, watching them go.
Yeah, even Elvar, I thought they all like, because slowly throughout the series, they're like getting closer story-wise, and occasionally you'd see them like, the story would wrap somehow, and then they'd separate, and you're like, wait a minute, they know each other somehow. Or something like that, and then at the end, everybody's like, hey, we're all buddies now. We're all hanging out.
I loved that. I loved it. The character development, it was great. I loved watching, and this is gonna, I'll put a pin in this for when we get to themes, but I loved watching each character go through their own themes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was nice. I really like too, like even the side characters were almost like I liked the main characters. The side characters though, I love them. Like Svik and Rokia. Rorkia?
Rirkia. The O is
Rirkia?
like an IR, like a and bird. So Rirkia or Rirkia.
Rirkia? That's
Yeah.
not how I pronounce it in my head. But anyway, um loved them. I anytime they were talking or like interacting with not Elvar. Um I can't remember his name. What's his name? It's gonna piss me off.
Agnar? Wait. Oh, Glornir?
No, the main POV guy. Not
Varg.
Varg. Varg and Elvar, like a lot of the names were so like when we had
Revna and Revna.
Yeah.
That was
or Bjor, Bjarn, and Brack
we
and
had
somebody
Brack
else.
and Barak. We had it was something.
It was a lot.
But the cast was fantastic. The cast was like emotionally moving. Even the side characters, small characters. I go on and on about the character development. It was so good. Watching Orca, Varg, Elvar, the main characters go through their development. It was so good. Easy point. Full points, full rating here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about these characters for a while. They're my friends.
Yeah.
I feel sworn in the Bloodsworn. I feel like I was there.
Yeah. Character deaths were meaningful. It was like, no.
You actually cared, which is a huge thing because I feel like when somebody dies and I don't care,
you did it wrong.
You did it very wrong.
You missed an opportunity.
Yeah, because even like I'm rooting for them to kill their villains, like for everybody to get their revenge, which we'll go into in themes. But I loved all that. Yeah, they successfully or unsuccessfully, depending on the character, made things happen, and the deaths were moving. Originality and creativity. It's a 1. It's easy point. Easy point.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, like I loved the subtle, not so subtle, right? Viking Norse themes, but I loved the things that were subtle, like Glock and Crow, the ravens. Clearly, Odin's ravens from Norse mythology, but like in no way was like Odin like a thing. Like it was really subtle, really subtle.
I feel like they cherry picked like the setting. Like the setting was Norse. We got some Vikings, we got some gods, but like what they did with everything made it so unique. Yeah. Like the all of Vilrio. That's what it's called, right? Vilrio? I don't know why I'm blanking on all the names. I just finished the book. I don't know why my brain's like immediately like these names and characters and places that you loved, deleted, gone. Whoop. I need to work on that. Anyway, the place that they live, is like shaped and formed from all the gods dying. Super cool. I really liked that. Like the whole mountain range and people built things over the bones. Yeah. Orna's hall with like her wings, everything was built like over like that way. So cool.
What was Snock?
What was Snaka, the big snake?
What was the city called?
Snakavik.
Snakavik. That was cool. The city that was built inside the snake's skull and on the snake's skull. It was great.
I was getting Pirates of the Caribbean vibes from that.
We jumped into world building and setting, so I'm gonna steer us back on course. But no, it was super original, super creative. It cherry picked the perfect amount.
It did,
and the rest of it was great.
How did you feel about our ending, our wrap up, Dakota? How do we feel about book 3 ending, but generally just the trilogy? How do we feel that it ended? Tell me your words.
It was. I have no complaints. I don't have any complaints about the story. I have a little bit of complaints about the world. I would love like just things that could be maybe fleshed out more, but I you know what I want? I'm spoiled. I want some like novellas. I want some little like some side books that look at like the other continent more and like the aftermath more. But the climax, perfect. The conclusion to the character stories, perfect. The conclusion to the story that the Bloodsworn Trilogy tells, fantastic.
I would agree. I think the main story has cap on it. It's for the most part.
It has a good cap.
It has a good cap. I felt all the characters were where they needed to be, but I do feel like they left enough clear room and direction for follow-ups, right? So, Rada got away. So Rada's not around. So
Snaka's heart.
Snaka, yeah. Who took that? A bird, and it's gone. I thought Ulfrir was gonna come up, eat it, and be a super wolf, and
or
it just
they would use it to like revive somebody.
And it was gone. And then the whole southern army from Iskeden was like there. And then Snaka wrecked a bunch of them, but there's still a bunch left. And then everyone's like, hey, let's just build a home.
Yeah, invasion. Is that going to, like, every ruler on the in Vigrid was like destroyed. There's no like Jarls left, which is a really interesting theme. Like all the leadership. I'm just making this connection now. In the very beginning of the book, I think they talk about like how leaders try to gather. In the beginning of the first book, I think they talk about how there were people who tried to rise up as kings and they never last long and they get taken out. But yeah, we ended the trilogy with some clear foreshadowing.
Dead.
I'm pretty sure every leader in Vigrid was killed. Like we didn't come out with any Jarls left or any kings or queens.
No, because even a lot of the minor ones that like aligned with Elvar and stuff like that, like Orlog or something like that his name was, died at the end. Like
Jarl
Troll got him.
Helka, Sigrun?
No, the Troll didn't get him.
Did Guthvar's aunt die on screen?
Yeah, Sigrun.
Yeah. So
who died?
But anyway, we got distracted again. The story wrap up was great. Everybody's stories ended in a great and well-deserved ending. I love my happy ending. I love seeing earned endings, right? Like they worked for it, they got there, we made it. We got to see what happened, what the fruit of their labors were.
Yeah, and I'm even fine with characters dying and stuff, and that's their ending as long as it fits.
Yeah,
and
as
I
long
feel
as it
like
fits in the narrative.
Yeah, and like Elvar's death, I was like, wow, that was huge.
It was.
Like, this is the breaker of change. I immediately thought of Red Rising when I saw that. I was like, okay, dang. Yep. And then she died, and I was like, well, that puts a damper on things.
Yeah, and was like, you know what? We probably should have seen it coming because her story finished. When she freed all the thrall and when she like unified everybody and became Elvar Chainbreaker, her story was done. She had officially accepted that she was not her father. She was not going to rule like her father, and she had paved the way forward, and there was nothing else we could have seen from her story.
The second I saw her repeatedly say, I am not my father, I'm like, oh, honey, sweet summer child, you're about to get...
You're losing your plot armor.
God.
Say you're your father.
Yeah. I'm not finished. You cannot have my pain.
Dang. Red Rising, Stormlight Archive, Bloodsworn.
It's all connected. So yeah, loved it. Loved the ending. I'm very happy with it. I don't know what else to say besides I'm happy. I finished it this morning. I was like, wow, that... Because I don't think I've read anything Viking Norse-ish before.
Yeah, I think we both talked about this after the first review. It doesn't feel like this is like a overdone topic, right? Like
and I'm sure they're out there, but just at least in mainstream fantasy media, maybe we're just missing it. If comment something we're missing that we haven't read yet, but
yeah,
it's I liked it. I mean, what's not to like? What's not to like?
Yeah. And then we've got world building and setting, which we touched on a bit, and I don't think we need to say a lot here, but we both loved it.
Yeah, like we said with everything, with the Guthfalla or whatever, the gods fall when they all died.
Yeah,
and I thought too, the one thing that you did touch on that I wanted to say was they didn't really go much into the southern part. They kind of focused on the mainland. Iskeden, they didn't really touch. They went there, completed a plot point. They killed I don't even remember what his name is, but they freed
the princes. Yaramir.
Yeah, yes, because they freed all of his thralls, which like was necessary, but then they left. But that did set him up for the if there's going to be another series, because now the brother's pissed and
yeah, I don't know
showed up.
I don't know if John Gwynn's been writing long enough. I don't think he's been writing long enough to know what to expect, right? Like if this was like Brandon Sanderson, would be like for sure gonna have another series in this world. Like I don't know, because he has his other series. I don't remember if it's a trilogy, if it's 4, like
It's
Malice,
4.
and I've heard great things about that too, and I've heard great things about this one. But I think that's it. I think that's all he's finished so far. So I don't. Oh, and I saw a teaser for another like medieval fantasy he's writing on
Okay.
Reddit, I think. So I don't know what to expect. Are
Up.
we gonna get more? Because I think there's so much more he could do with Vigrid.
But do you want to know what? When I'm in a world, I love it and I want more. But I'd be okay if we didn't get any more, because sometimes I'm like, I'm fine with a story ending with we know something's happening, but we're just not gonna get that. The world continues on without us.
Yeah, he did such a good job wrapping up the story that he was telling that I don't have complaints, and I'm not holding against him the unanswered questions of the world. Could I know more about the world? Always. But he wrapped up the story he was telling so nicely that it's like, I'm not gonna fault you for if you don't come back to this world.
Because I feel like just because it's an unanswered question doesn't mean like we were meant to have the answer. Like if something happens and it's like a plot hole, we miss something, or you're like, what the heck happened to this person or character? I'd be upset with that. But the questions that weren't answered could be future questions, but the characters just haven't got there yet, which I think is fine.
Yeah. But anyway, world building or setting, boom, easy point. All 3 books, whole trilogy. We loved it. Pacing and structure. Immersion.
The whole, like I said, the second I was reading it, I was into it. I felt like I was right next to everybody, which, you're reading, even though you're super into it, sometimes you just feel like you're reading the story. I just felt like I was there. So I don't know. I thought it was super cool. And I was never bored. Every POV switch I was happy with. And I think you made a good point when we were texting about it, that there's no like break in action POV. So like all these characters are fighting, and then we have Bjorn is riding up the street having a good old time going from point A to point B. No, everybody was doing something. It didn't like.
Yeah, it was like a good example of this, I think, in The Way of Kings in Stormlight 1. It was jarring's maybe the wrong word, but the switches between Kaladin and Shallan were like, take me back to Kaladin's point of view, take me back to the
juxtaposition.
Yeah. Ooh. We know our big words here on RSQ.
We do. And this movie is fantastic. This is also not an ad for Smoothie King, but I've been drinking it this whole time, and I just realized that. But it's so good. I can't stop.
I think now you have to. It's like a total ramble, but what's in it?
So this is I think it's just strawberry banana. It's got a scoop of protein, and I think that's it. It's very simple, but it's zero sugar one. So like you can tell. Oh, right here. Oh, you can't see that with the glare at all. Whole fruits and veggies, 0 sugars, and no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives.
Wholesome. But anyways, the point of views were great. They were all very interesting. They were all gripping and engaging and equally immersive.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm always impressed when every point of view keeps me as entertained, and I'm not like, oh, I want to hear from Varg or Orca again.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. Because you have to have like offsetting characters, but I feel like he did such a good job with the side characters being so involved in the main POVs that we got the shake up from that.
Yeah, I agree.
Emotional impact. I feel emotionally impacted. I think along the lines of themes, kind of. We got to see everybody complete their task. And I was very happy for them. And even like the deaths, I was sad. I was along for the ride. I was feeling what they were feeling. I was ready to go be tainted myself and just go running full bear.
Put the blood of Ulfrir in my veins.
Ulfrir.
Be a wolf spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. Pacing, emotional impact. Yeah, everything you said. I'm gonna miss the characters.
I'm gonna miss the
I'm gonna
character,
miss
and
being like in their world, right?
yeah, and I think from what you said earlier too about having like novellas and stuff like that, I think I would be happy with a prequel from this. I want to see like
Oh
something
yeah,
from what happened in the beginning. Because people were there in the beginning. It wasn't just gods fought and then died, and then all of a sudden there was landed people. Everything already existed. They just fought and
yeah.
all died. So I'm curious. I think that'd be really cool to see. And then he could just call it the Godfall. It's right there.
Ooh, yeah.
It's right there.
The Godfall trilogy.
Trilogy? I'll take 3 more. I don't care. I said it'd be okay without more, but I'd be okay with more. Either
You'd
way,
always be okay with more.
I'm happy either way.
Me too. Me too. Okay, the next one I think is one of my favorite parts of the whole book. Writing style and prose.
Tell me about it.
The prose, I think part of why this was so immersive was his prose. His prose to me was so his writing style and his prose just drew me in. The like sailing the whale road, like how like Orca was yelling like how they would yell where WARE like beware where
that was cool.
Yeah, all of the Viking language and all of the unique language was so immersive. The way he explained fights,
and it was consistent.
Yeah, throughout the whole book, there wasn't like he forgot to do that here. You can tell it's tapering off. No, the whole trilogy was all really consistent. I think his writing style and his prose, dude, this is like one of the reasons I think I would always read everything a specific person writes, is because their prose and their writing style is so good.
I think he earned it for sure. I think, and we talked about this in the beginning and in other reviews too. You know how we talked about the thought cage and everything like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't so much in the third book, which was nice. But there were certain things that he just kept repeating, like anytime it was a Guthvar chapter, he'd wipe his nose and stuff like that. He had little scenes he kept repeating for people. And I don't know why my pattern recognition, I was like, the second I saw it more than once, I was like, we've seen this before.
Stop it.
But I really enjoyed
just blow its nose.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, that was
full point there.
Great job. Nice job, John. Engaging storyline, obviously.
We've talked about that so many times.
How can you not like any of this?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a book I'm going to be, you know what? No. I'm not going to say it yet. I'm going to wait.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not
going to be I shall bite my tongue as best as I can. I don't know what voice that was, but it felt right. This is the 4th person that showed up at my door. I keep looking because my dog is going crazy. My apologies, fans. I should be more connected. But I also don't want the dog to wake up the baby.
Fair enough.
Meaningful themes and depth. This is another big one. This is another big one. So start us off.
If I was better prepared, I would have what they said about vengeance and how it tasted. I'd have that line ready. I think he said that vengeance is like clay and ash in your mouth. I think that's what it was. I think
along those lines.
It was like Glornir maybe, or
it was someone who had gotten vengeance already and was like, I support you in this, but I've had my vengeance, and it left a sour taste, like a sour ale or something like that.
Let's see if I can find it.
But it was good. While you're looking that up, I'll keep going. It was the themes. Vengeance was a huge theme, right? Every character. So Orca, with her, she's going to avenge her husband and get her son back. And then she picks up Leaf along the way, or Lif. I called him Leaf. And then his dad gets slain in the battle ring, and like unjustly. So he's going to avenge him and his brother are going to avenge his dad. Then his brother dies, and he's going to avenge him. And he had a cool glow up too. He went from scrawny little fisherman to like shield and spear aficionado.
As they would say in the book, his weapons craft. He had a rare weapons craft.
A rare weapons craft indeed. He was very I liked his glove. Even when he was a little I liked his character.
But yeah, that's where I was going with that. Was just the vengeance was a big theme. The cost of vengeance, the feelings of vengeance. Varg describes when he finally gets his vengeance, how he felt Like he thought he would at least feel euphoric, and instead he just felt numb and empty.
Yeah.
And so the themes of like violence and battle and striving for vengeance, like a big motivator for a lot of the characters in the book was vengeance, like killing someone who killed a loved one, and how the contrast to that theme was that vengeance gives you nothing. It doesn't fill you. It doesn't. You get it because of your honor. You strive for it because of your honor, but it doesn't give you anything.
I think that's a good point to make too, because most of the characters recognized, like before, and like if not in the beginning, at least in the middle of a journey. I know this isn't going to fix a problem. I know it's not going to bring them back, but I have to do this for insert dead person here. I have to do this for them. And at the end, they're like, I feel nothing. I don't feel any different. It's like, well, but you did it.
But other than that, we saw each character go through so many personal themes. Like we mentioned it already, but Elvar's wanting to be not ruthless like her father, not wanting to be a ruler that ruled with fear, but wanting to be someone who could feel like camaraderie with her crew, with the Battle Grim and those that were under her, wanting to trust the Wolf God. Orca and wanting to escape violence, the theme of like being so skilled at fighting but not wanting to see that violence anymore,
and it just dragged her back in.
And then at the very end, when the Bloodsworn are like back to raiding, and Varg is like, let me hit you with some deep cunning here, and he's like,
what if we all built a house together? And they're like,
just live.
Cul-de-sac family, I'm in. Love that.
But the themes were great. And they were so present and so well developed. Like I didn't have to look below the surface for the themes because we could watch the characters. We were learning with the characters, right? It was like we're seeing the themes as the characters are processing and reflecting. And I don't think that's, I don't know how I want to say this, but I don't think that's always well done. We don't always see the characters reflect on what they've learned as the reader. Like we see them learn. We don't always see them sit and be like, wow, here's what I've learned. And so it's very well done, very well fleshed out.
It was very fun. I think my only, if I had to pick a gripe, if I had to pick one, I think it would be the amount of times that like we were back in, like say we switched POVs, and like at the end, at some point they would bring up like another character. Oh, why are you doing this? Like I'm doing this to avenge, but like the constant reminder that that's what they're doing. I was like, we get it.
We know.
I don't think there's really anything to gripe about, but I just feel like I had to pick something negative. What I do want to talk about though too, I was just thinking about this while we were chatting, and this isn't necessarily for any category, but how did you feel about like all the different monsters and stuff like that? Because we had like frost spiders, we had the horn deer, tenor, we had the spurtus, we had the obviously we had the trolls. There was a lot of cool, like, I mean, I feel like every fantasy's got some sort of evil spiders. The Vason, yeah, well, that was all of them together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, all the Vason were super cool.
But the reason I bring this up because I felt like one that we saw in the first book and part of the second one, we were going to get more of. And it was like, I don't remember what the name. It was like a mermaid one where they like dragged Mork and Leaf down when they were in the water, like rowing and stuff like that. And then also in the second book, when Guthvar was being tortured in the Golder Tower, and they were gonna like somebody fell in it and it pulled them in and stuff like that. I thought we were gonna see more of them because they're on the water so often. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a huge scene where they're gonna be attacking the boat. We didn't see him except for those two spots. I was looking for some more evil mermaids.
But yeah, no, I agree. All the monsters were super cool. There were so many. I think he did a good job. He did a good job making it setting specific. So like when they were in the forest and they ran into like the Froa spirits, and then
those were cool.
The Faunir came from the forest, or in the Night Hags. Like I think he did a good job making it setting specific. Like it wasn't just like we're running into monsters everywhere at every time. It was like we're in a setting that specifically matches these monsters.
And it wasn't just like insert spider here or troll here. Like there's some pretty unique stuff.
Yeah,
and even
if it wasn't just like roll for initiative.
Yeah. So that was cool. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. Evil mermaids.
Evil mermaids. I'll be your emo mermaid.
Emo mermaid?
I'll be your evil mermaid. But I could be an emo mermaid too.
Whatever you got to do, I'm in.
There we go. We've touched on this one already, but rereadability and lasting impact.
Yeah, absolute point for me. Normally, this is where we give it the half. This is a point for me. Lasting impact. I loved all these characters. I'm gonna be thinking about them. I'm gonna be recommending this to people. But the rereadability. No, I have a hard time rereading books, but I feel like I could reread these ones because when we were into it, I was like, there wasn't crazy surprises. There were good surprises. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel like there was anything like so shocking. Like going back and rereading it, it would be less because I already knew it type thing.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be like an amount of time has to pass, and I have to have a reason to read it again. Either I'm like, I missed that world, which I can definitely see happening for this, or like a new trilogy, right? Like Red Rising. Like when I started reading the new Red Rising trilogy, I reread the original one.
Yeah, that's true. Or when I started the Cosmere, and you're like, I'll read it with you, and then you reread all of that, which was insane. You have a problem, and you will be admitted to psych after this.
I'm proud of myself. Not many people say they reread the whole Cosmere.
And they shouldn't. No, I'm just kidding. It's great. As long as it's good amount of time passed.
Definitely would reread it. Definitely a lasting impact. Definitely going to be recommending it, which takes us right into it's RSQ recommended for sure.
Oh yeah, easy recommend. The Stand.
Are we giving it is it getting the absolute banger? Are we giving the whole trilogy an 11 out of 10?
Yeah. I feel like this is an easy one for me. There wasn't anything I had to find stuff to say negative about it just for like the sake of talking about it.
Yeah.
I felt it was a banger. It was a banger trilogy. It was a banger. It is what it is.
It was super good. Yeah. The whole thing was a complete package. It was a masterpiece. It's got everything you could want. It's got great character development, great themes, the world's immersive, the prose is good. Like really, I'm always skeptical when books on Book Talk get glowing reviews because I've been burned and I've also been overhyped for series, and I'm like, that was good, but it wasn't like 11 out of 10 good. This is 11 out of 10 good. This is so good. It's a complete package, complete masterpiece. Definitely recommended. You should definitely check it out. Even if you're a slow reader and it takes you like 3, 4, 5 months, you'll love it. You'll love being immersed in this trilogy.
You're never going to be bored, and I feel like that is a huge thing. That's our attention spans are getting shorter and blah 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 blah. Anyway, you're not going to be bored. Sometimes like we talked about this already. Anyway,
the last 25% of the third book was just one massive blood brawl.
There's so much blood.
It was literally like
and slashing.
From 75% to 100% was all like critical fights that were wrapping up storylines. It was great.
It was fun. Yeah, you get to see so many different things, I guess, battle-wise, like different formations they do. You get to see everybody's plots line up, separate to do their things, and then come back together. It's just, I got no complaints.
Yeah, this book's a testament to how good a writer John Gwynne is.
It makes me want to read his other stuff real bad. Like the Malice series. What is the name of that series?
I think Malice is the fourth book. Or the third book? Let's see.
There's Malice, Valor, something.
Ruin is one of the names.
Ruin. Okay, yep.
It's the Faithful and the Fall. Is that what it's called? Hold on. The Faithful and the Fallen is what that series is called.
Well, it's on my list.
And it looks like it is like a medieval fantasy.
All right. Is it going to give First Law vibes?
Maybe. It has. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to add it to it'll have to make it onto the wheel.
The wheel. It will.
But maybe not yet. Soon.
No.
Like this year, yes. Tomorrow, no.
I have a hard time, like, once I find, like, either author or a series, I'm piled in. I'm going to read all of this author at the same time. But I think with this one, let's spread it out. We're going to spread it out. I think we're going to spread the love throughout the year. Because say we read some crap books in a row, we know we're getting a banger when we get John Gwynne.
Yeah, it's true. Breaker.
John Gwynne, stay winning.
I think the next thing we're going to do is spin the wheel. So check out our video on spinning the wheel and see what we're going to read next.
Yeah,
but otherwise,
we're excited. Check us out on our Instagram, TikTok, and you're already here on YouTube. So thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
We love you. We appreciate you.